What's up, guys? It's your boy McMastermind. I'm coming at you with another video. Today is our first Titanfall 2 video. We're gonna be going over 5 weapons that can turn anyone, no matter what your skill is, into an absolute god. Now, some of these weapons are, better for people who have like really solid aim. Others are just really good for, beginners and people who might not have the best aim, but they want to have some fun on this game. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the first gun we're going to go over right now is the R201. This is a really good assault rifle with some pretty solid range, a really good accuracy, and pretty good DPS. So this is the one on the list that's more for beginners. I know that players of all skill can absolutely destroy with this thing. I mean, no matter how good you are, you can just obliterate people with this. But this is just a gun that's really good for beginners. It's a good gun to start off with. It shoots really fast. I mean, not insanely fast, but pretty fast. It's just the main reason why it's good for beginners is that accuracy is really high. And in Titanfall, if you're brand new to the movement system, you're gonna want a gun that can hit its shots. Okay, you're not gonna want a gun that's gonna be missing shots and it's gonna be making you lose all your gunfights. You're gonna be wanting one that's gonna hit your shots and simple to use. The perks I'm gonna go with on this one, I usually, for most guns, I use either extended mag or quick reloader and tactical. Now, I'm not sure what the mag size is for the R201. If it's a big mag size, like 40 upwards, I'd probably use speed reloader and tactical. If it's like in the 30s, probably extended mag and tactical. So you kind of have some options there. So yeah, this thing can just destroy people. Really good for beginners again, and let's just go on to the second gun. Alright, so the second gun we're going to talk about right now is the Volt. Now, again, this is one for beginners, and you might disagree with me, but I just think the Volt is so good for beginners. It's got 35 damage, 90 accuracy, 40 range, and 38 fire rate, which it sounds pretty low, but it's actually pretty solid. Which, if you don't know, it's the exact same stats as the R97, which we'll talk about later in this video, except the accuracy is higher and the damage per second is lower, or the fire rate is lower. But the Volt is just, it's such a good gun. I used to use this thing all the time. It's just so much fun to use. I used to use it as like a replacement for the Alternator, which again we'll talk about later on, because the Alternator doesn't have very good range, and I thought, take off the speed, add a bit of range. That's what the Volt is. The Volt is just solid. Really underrated in my opinion. I've been seeing a lot more players, as players come from Apex Legends and start playing this, try and use it in Titanfall, which I've heard, I didn't really play Apex, but I've heard that it's a little bit different than the Apex one, and the Apex one is actually pretty solid, so I've been seeing more players using it, but I've kind of stopped using it because I've kind of moved on to a little bit more solid guns. But again, a great gun for beginners, really fun to use, awesome. It's like right in between SMG and AR. It's a good gun all around, and I love it. So let's just move on to the next gun. Alright, for gun number 3, we have the Alternator. Now, the Alternator is a small SMG that has, it's just so good. You will see people using this all over the place, especially in live fire. The only problem that this gun really has, honestly, is its range. Its range is absolutely horrible. But if it had good range, it would be unstoppable. And you will hear people talk about it, and honestly, if you're watching streamers or like YouTube videos, if you hear them raging about someone using a certain SMG, it was probably the Alternator. It's just so overpowered in close range, it's insane. Again, its range is horrendous, so his range is horrendous. I can't really remember if its accuracy is good, but I'm assuming if its range sucks, and it's an SMG, its accuracy probably sucks. Yeah, people get mad when people use this, especially in live fire. This one, I'm gonna say, takes a little bit more experience than the last two. Definitely kind of a difficult gun to use, which is why, like I said, I used the Volt as a replacement, because I kind of tried to use the Alternator too early on, and I was pretty good with it, but I noticed that I tried shooting from really far away with it, and tried wall riding with it, and it wasn't really working, so I kind of moved on to the Volt, and the Volt seemed to work for me. So yeah, it's either, if the Volt feels similar almost. I like using the Alternator. I don't use it as often anymore, because I will say two of the guns, the last two guns in this video, are my two primaries that I love to use. So yeah, the Alternator, really solid. Need a bit more experience for it, but I really do recommend it. I'm pretty sure when I used it, I would use the perks Extended Mag and probably Tactical. Those are just two really solid perks. So yeah, let's just move on to gun number 4. Alright, for gun number 4 on this list, we have the R97. Now, the R97 is what multiple people call the best gun in the game, by far. In my opinion, the last gun on this list edges it out, but just for my playing style. So, the R97 is just such a good gun. This gun literally has the exact same stats as the Volt, except while the Volt has 38 fire rate, this has maximum 100 fire rate, and its accuracy, though, on the Volt it's 90 accuracy, but on this one it's 22 accuracy, and everything else is the same, except I think the magazines are different. But what I would use for this was Extended Mag, I believe. I probably can switch that. I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty big mag, so I could probably just use Speed Reloader. I actually probably suggest Speed Reloader. But yeah, so Speed Reloader or Extended Mag, and again, Tactical. This gun just runs through people, okay? You get up close and personal, you will just destroy them. I mean, you will go through them. The amount of damage if you hit your shots is insane. Now, the reason why it's not number 1 is because it's so freaking hard to hit your shots. 22 accuracy is garbage. I said the Alternator had bad accuracy. It had 50 accuracy. Its accuracy is so terrible, and it's just so hard to hit shots with. But if you can hit shots, you're a beast, okay? You will destroy people. But that being said, it's time to move on to the final gun number 5, my number 1 primary, my favorite gun on this list. Let's go. Alright, so we are here at the end of the list. Number 1 on my list, it's the car. Oh my god, is the car perfect for my playing style. The car is an SMG, which in Titanfall, basically SMGs dominate. I love SMGs. The car has insane accuracy, 85 accuracy. Crazy. It has a small magazine of 30, but you add Extended Mag and it goes up to 36. So that's actually pretty solid. You add Tactical for faster recharges. Insane. I believe it's called Hollow Scope. That's just my favorite scope. But then you have got 40 damage, which sounds low, but that's actually pretty good. 40 range, which you're like, well, I thought it could hit from far. It can hit from far, believe me, alright? This thing can dominate from far. The range doesn't really matter when its accuracy is that high, as long as you're just hitting your shots. The fire rate, 70. This thing is a monster, an absolute monster. Today I went on stream, and I did a stream, and I expected it to be kind of short, because I expected to get bored by the car. I was just grinding with the car. I went off. I started streaming for 2 hours, playing with the car, and I had so much fun with it that I went from level 2 with it to Generation 2 Level 1. Level 1. Like, that's crazy. I started grinding with this thing. It's so much fun to use. And it's awesome. So much fun to use. I mean, do I need to say much else about this gun? This gun it's just, in my opinion, by far the best. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, comment what your favorite part was, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.